Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to 440 Fishing. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be tying up a Marabou hair jig for smallmouth. So stay tuned if you guys would like to learn. So guys, some of the material we're going to be using today is some Marabou in an olive color, some rabbit dubbing in a gray color, and some peacock herl. And then finally, we're going to need some guys, copper. So now we're going to get to the tying portion of the video. We're going to be tying onto a Z-Man jig head. We're going to start off with the gray dubbing, and we're just going to actually like roll it and massage it onto the fly tying line. Now the reason why I use gray dubbing is to basically make kind of like a body on the jig. And not only that, I noticed that it actually helps spread the Marabou apart underwater, just to give it more of a flare. So we're just going to start off by working our way to the back of the jig, and we're going to start building this body onto it. You want to be careful not to get stuck on the hook point. Then after we start getting onto the hook, we're going to work our way back up the body. And I don't put too much. It's pretty much your preference on how much you want to put on there. Just basically put enough to be a little bit under 1/4 of an inch. So we worked our way back up to the head. And now we're going to actually begin tying in our Marabou. And now you want to go actually to the tip, the top of the Marabou feather. And you're just going to basically separate some of the feathers and basically create a point. That way you have something to tie down onto. Now you have to be careful of trying to tie this on, because as you can tell, I don't know if you guys can notice in the camera, but the stem actually tries to roll itself over, so it makes it hard to tie it down. But once you get it secured down, you just want to take a couple wraps towards the Marabou, just to make sure it's secured down, and then work your way back up. Okay guys, now we're ready to take our hackle pliers, and we're going to attach it to the end of the Marabou feather. And you can use your fingers, but the hackle pliers just make things a lot easier. And we're just going to basically just work this up towards the jig head and on our way up we're going to be making sure we brush the feathers back, that way they don't get caught. So once you have the Marabou feather worked all the way up to the jig head, you're going to take your fly tying line and you're going to make a couple of secure wraps just to make sure that the Marabou isn't going anywhere. when you snip the excess off. So I'm going to take about 4 to 5 wraps, whatever makes you guys feel comfortable. Now we're going to take our scissors carefully without cutting the thread. Do a couple more wraps. So now we're going to tie in our peacock curl. And this is just basically to give it a little bit of flash. You start on one side. Get a couple wraps secured in. Then take our other one, do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to finish up the fly before we put the copper on by tying off the thread. You want to do this without getting the marabou stuck in there. So a good trick to actually prevent that is just to wet your fingers and brush the marabou hair back. And I like to do it twice. It's a little bit trickier when you have the weed guard in a way, but after a while you guys start to get used to it. Alright guys, so we're going to finish up by tying in the copper, or wrapping it around towards the front of the jig head. And I do this just to basically protect the fly line basically the fly line collar, the fly tie line collar that I created at the top. And not only that, it gives it some flash. So you guys don't have to do this. This is just something that I do. Kind of helps me use, with confidence of using the lure. And then when you guys are done, you just secure it the same way we did the fly line, the fly tie line. So this is what the fly looks like when it's all finished. I hope you guys like it. It's very easy to tie. Only about 4 pieces of material. The marabou in the olive color, the peacock curl, the gray dubbing, and some copper wire. Like I said, the copper wire is optional. I just use it for a little bit of flash. So if you guys like more of these videos, give a thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned for some more content. Appreciate it.